You understand? But your people helped enforce the slavery on us.
That's right.
Everybody knows that the Irish were known for becoming the biggest police forces in this country. And you know, in those police forces, a world of brutality was done to black people. A world of false charges, incarcerations, murders, rapes, all at the hand of that badge. And my question to you, many Irishmen joined the Klan, especially turn of the century. Yes, they did. After the 1900s, not you, I'm not saying you specifically. I'm not saying you specifically. I'm saying, I hear you. So my question to you is this: should the Irish and all white people that participated in the slavery of black people pay for it?
I don't understand that at all.
I know you don't.
I got you. Let it ride real quick. Look. The city eyes. It's time to vote God. My God, a real nigga, cause he wasn't no flaw. Posted on the corner like a watchdog. Family secure, got that shotty in the closet by the mob ball. Fuck what they heard, tell them it's all true. Be cautious, that foundation falls till you fall through. They gon' fall. Look, I keep this shit 50 times 2. Ain't no more heart in this game, I'm John Q. Colder than the avalanche, way above average. Offense taste sweet, told him make me an applecrit. Left us in the valley full of bones, this where hope found. Child become a man, dark sands get broke down. Riding through Evanston with Mark Quad, telling me how them crackers turn his childhood to a ghost town. Poker stop, nigga, I lay that game down.
You can't even go to certain countries, especially a Muslim country. If you're white, you can't just really be going to any old country, because so many people hate Americans, man. And they hate Americans for a reason. There were atrocities being done. See, America has a history of doing violent, evil acts to people. But God is not playing with America, man.
That's right.
That's why we watching Florida on the news. And you black people in America, you got to find out who you are. See, when black people came here and got stripped of their identity, you've been trying to find your way back ever since. Right. You done became a Christian. Your brother became a Muslim. Your cousin became a Hare Krishna or some other Buddhist. You done been trying, some of you done joined the conscious community. Right. Some of you believe you're the descendants of the Egyptians. Right. All of that is false. Why is it black people are the only people that seek out so many identities? Because you're the only people whose identity has been totally stripped from you.
That's right.
You're the only people who they robbed your entire identity. Right or wrong? Was not our identity robbed in slavery? Let me tell you something, man. This is an honest white man. And we're talking about a very sensitive topic. Some black people scared to even come near us when we talk about these sensitive topics. But this white man, because he's decided in his heart to be an honest white man, he can just answer honestly whether he agrees or whether it's for or against him. He's just laying it out straight. A lot of atrocities were done here that have not been reconciled. You understand? Salakia, that have not been reconciled in this country. And those things are now going to be reconciled by God. See, America had a time where they could have gotten it right. They could have tried to fix the thing. But that time is up now. Now, America got to catch the judgment. One of the biggest judgments they're going to catch is from not bringing out the true identity of black people. If I told you today your true identity before you went into slavery, black people in Nashville would think I'm crazy. You would say, man, send that brother to the psych ward, because there's no way he could be straight on what he's saying. But I'm here to let you know a secret, brother, that's going to be spread around the world. That blacks in America that came to America are the descendants of the Hebrew Israelites.
That's right.
You're reading about them in the Bible. Did you know that Moses was black? And I dare you, I will prove it to you today. I want somebody to challenge me on that. Somebody needs to say, prove to me that Moses was black. Did you know it's in your Bible, man? Prove it? Uh-oh. We got to challenge you now. He asked me, and listen, I appreciate his intelligence. He said, well, look, you saying it, well, prove it then. If you say that Moses was a black man, prove it to me. I'm going to prove it to this man. He's right for asking it. Black people, you got to ask questions now. You don't understand what it means to come out of slavery. When you come out of slavery, it means you come out of brainwashing. When you come out of brainwashing, it means certain things you got to learn over again.
Right.
Like the Bible. We always believed it was white people in the Bible.
Right.
We always believed Jesus was white. We just assumed it.
That's right.
We assumed it, and come to find out, we was dead wrong.
Right.
Now we're going to prove it today. Go and give it to him,
Exodus 4:6. And the Lord said furthermore unto him, put now thine hand into thy bosom.
Remember, Moses went up on the mountain, and then Moses came before the burning bush. And then God spoke to him out of that burning bush. And he told Moses, he said, look, man, take your hand and put it in your bosom. In your bosom means in your garment. Like you have a garment wrapped around you. He said, put your hand in your garment. Moses put his hand in his garment. Let's see what happened. Read.
And he put his hand into his bosom. And when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow.
He said, behold, his hand was leprous as snow. Let me ask you a question. If I was a white man and I put my hand in my clothing and I bring it out white, would that be a miracle? No, because I'm already white. But if I put my hand in my bosom and I pull it out white, it's only a miracle if what? If it was, thank you, there's an intelligent man. It's only a miracle. You know why I say that? It's very intelligent. Because it's more than just knowledge. We've been so brainwashed with lies that just the knowledge alone is not enough. You have to have courage to speak the knowledge.
Right.
You have to have courage to be able to say what it really is. Right. Moses put his hand in his bosom and he pulled it out white as snow. Now, wait a minute. Let me finish it. I'm coming right back to you. Read,
Verse 7. And he said, put thine hand into thy bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom again and plucked it out of his bosom, and behold, it was turned again as his other flesh.
He said it was turned again as its other flesh. What does that mean? That means his hand turned from white back to a hand of a regular black man.
Right.
Moses was a black man.
That's right.
Moses was a Levite priest.
Right.
Moses was a Hebrew Israelite.
Right.
If Moses was a black man, what color were the rest of the people in the Bible? You got it.
Reason why I got everything is all the way back to Adam and Eve. How do we know they were white?
You're right.
No.
You're absolutely right. And now we got proof that in fact he was a black man. We got a new day coming in this empire. And it's sad because it's going to be great punishment on white America. It's going to be great, horrific punishment. Go back to Obadiah for me. And let's read some of that great punishment for these lies. And see, by making Jesus white and making the Israelites white, white people felt conscienceless about being brutal to black people. Like you can't harm black people if you know Jesus is black. You can only harm black people if everybody believes Jesus is white.
That's right.
If everybody believes everything good is white, then you don't harm white people, but you harm black people. Had they told the truth 400 years ago that all the people in the Bible was black, it would have been difficult for white people to put us in slavery. They'd have been like, wait a minute, you can put them in slavery, but you can't work them that much. You can't beat them and kill them and torture them and cut their hands off and burn them up in frying pans and rape their daughters because they're God's chosen people. So what did they do? They taught everybody that Jesus was white, that the Bible was white, that all these things were white, so it made them free to abuse black people.
Right.
It made them free to abuse black people. And as a result, black people were destroyed. As a result, Latinos were destroyed. Give me some more,
Obadiah 1:10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever forever.
Now that's a scary prophecy. If you are a believer in God, this should scare the pants off of you. This should make you obedient to God overnight, especially if you're white. Because he said in this verse that because of the things that were done here in America, thou shalt be cut off forever. You know this happened before, right? You know this happened before. Go ahead.
Why not if you're just a person?
Say again?
Why not if you're just a person?
Listen, here's the thing. There is no one that is white in America. Even if you're born in Ireland and you came to America or your generations came to America, there is no one in America who has not been a participant in the destruction and the ongoing destruction of these people. Let's say you came over here and let's say you were a carpenter. You came from Ireland, or your father came from Ireland, or your grandfather came from Ireland, and he was an innocent carpenter. And so he came over here, he did his job, he got his paycheck, he went home, he fed his family, he saved his money, he bought a home, he had some children, and he went on to send his kids to college. Now, normally you would be like, well, that man is innocent. He didn't do anything. How you going to say that he got a problem? Here's where the problem comes. Where that man built that house at are the dead bodies of the North American Indians.
That's right.
That carpenter's job he got is because black people were put in slavery to cut down the trees that he's using.
Right.
Those tools that he's using, some of them were designed and engineered by black people, and those designs and engineers were stolen. That money that America has to make him a livable wage, to take care of his family, to raise his children, that money was stolen by poor black people and Latinos and poor North American Indians. See, you can't, in the United States, they have a law called conspiracy. They have a law of criminal acts after the fact. You cannot benefit from the crimes that were committed by your forefathers or by others and then turn around and say, I'm innocent. The Ukrainians right now are portrayed in the news as though they're innocent, right or wrong. As though Russia's invading them and Russia's wrong. The Ukrainians are not innocent. Why aren't the white Ukrainians innocent? It's real simple. White Ukrainians are the descendants of the Nazis who took over the land in the first place. Go check your history. Go check your history. That was one of Hitler's most precious areas.
Did he invade it?
He invaded it.
Oh, so he took it by conquest.
He took it by conquest.
Oh, so he murdered people to take it.
Yes, but wait a minute.
So he murdered people.
Yes. So my question to you is this.
Absolutely.
Since he murdered those people to take that land, the children of the soldiers that murdered those people to take that land, are they innocent?
The German soldiers?
Yes. The German children. Are they innocent? For living in that land, for prospering in that land.
There's an argument?
Yeah, you're right, there's an argument. And guess what? Russia, by God's hand, is answering the argument. Russia, by God's hand, is destroying the Ukrainians. You know why the Ukrainians are... See...
How many whites have died for blacks to have freedom? How many people?
None. None.
How many died in the Civil War?
Tons.
Tons.
But they didn't die for us to be free.
The North did not die for you to be free?
No.
600,000 men did not go to fucking war so that you could be free?
They fucking didn't.
Okay.
I'll tell you what they did go to war for. You want to know?
Please.
You know why? They went to war to ensure that the South's economic power would be destroyed.
That's right.
They went to war to ensure that the South would not take over the North and become the rulers of the United States.
That's right.
That's why they went in. Abraham Lincoln said out of his own mouth that I did not do this to free the slaves. And listen, and afterwards, Abraham Lincoln came back and said, I would that all the slaves be put back in slavery. Abraham Lincoln's word. Don't let me pull it. Listen, you've been having a couple drinks, man. You're not thinking clearly. You're not being reasonable.
If you're going to quote Abraham Lincoln,
yeah, go ahead.
Incorrectly, he did say, if I can preserve the Union without freeing a single slave,
me out. I will do that.
So wait a minute. Wait a minute. Bring me home. Wait a minute. Bring me home. Was he able to do it? Was he able to preserve the Union without freeing the slaves? Was he able to do it?
No, thank God.
Then guess what? Then he freed them to conquer. He didn't free them. He didn't free them because wait a minute. If I say I would not free a single slave if I could preserve the Union without it. Then if I free the slaves, it's not because I love the slaves. I'm freeing the slaves because I have no choice to preserve the daggone Union. See, you done had a few drinks, man. You're not thinking clearly. You actually giving my argument. You actually giving my argument credence. Abraham Lincoln quoted that. You are right. He quoted that, but he quoted it saying that he had no choice.
You understand?
You know why we got free? Black people want to know why we got civil rights and why we got free. We got free out of slavery because white men wanted to keep their money. That's why we got free.
600,000 white men went to go fucking die for you?
They didn't die for me. And they didn't die for my forepaw. They died for Abraham Lincoln, who would have never freed them slaves. You understand? Listen. And let me tell you something. It's a good Democratic talking point. You got an excellent Democratic talking point. But the truth of the matter is, you white people only conquer for yourself. You don't never conquer for us. I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying you are. I believe you are a staunch Republican. But I think that you are giving credence to those 600,000 men when Abraham Lincoln had no choice.
So wait, if I decided right now, civil liberties go, somebody, fucking the trans community, they're fucking getting discriminated against, and I lay my fucking life down because I care about them, I'm doing it for fucking Joe Biden?
No, you're doing it, then you are doing it for them. But the soldiers did not do it for us. The soldiers, listen, but you wasn't in that war. You wasn't even alive back then. And listen, and if you read the letters, of those soldiers, do you know how many Irishmen revolted against having to go to war in that war? They had to round up Irishmen in the bars by the hundreds. You know why? Because they did not want to fight to free black people. They didn't want to believe the propaganda. And guess what? Lincoln forced them to fight. You know why he forced them to fight? Because he did not. You know why he didn't want to? You know why he did it? He did it because he wanted to make sure that he won the South over. He didn't give a damn about the slaves, man. And this is the thing that the South knew that the North did not know. The South knew that these slaves was our biggest economic structure. Slaves were the biggest economic weapon that white people had in the South. And Abraham Lincoln knew it, and Abraham Lincoln's generals knew it, and they came together and said, we will go to war, and if we have to, we will free the slaves so that the slaves can help us fight the South. And guess what? Once they won that war, they destroyed us as a people. Right or wrong, we became sharecroppers. We starved in the South. Why did black families come to the North? Why did black families come to Chicago and New York and Boston and Baltimore and Washington, D.C.? They came to the North because they were starving in the South after the Civil War. After the Civil War, those Southerners starved, burnt down, raped. Are you kidding? The Civil War was the creation of the Ku Klux Klan. You know what it's like for the perpetrator to be arrested, to be tried, to be put into prison. You know what that's like. And you vote every year to make sure you have it. But you know what? Black people don't never receive justice. You understand? Let me tell you something. If black people would have received justice in America for the crimes that was given, you'd have to turn over America to us and move out. Like if we really wanted to let's lay the charges down. Let's lay the charges down. Don't let me pull the record out on what you did to us. And don't let me go before the judge and And let me tell you something. Let me tell you something that's scary. Let me tell you that's something that should be scary to white America. There's a judge in heaven. And that judge in heaven is about to take you to court.
That's right.
And you can't throw him in jail like a nigga.
Right.
Because he's a nigga that nobody can stop.
That's right.
Listen, I'm just trying to relate to you. You say you grew up in the hood, right? Read. Obadiah.
Obadiah 1 and 10. For that violent.
Go where you was at. Go ahead.
For 11. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captives his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem.
And let me tell you something, man. This is what white people do. You enter into our gates. You rob gentrification. You ain't gentrifying Chinatown. You ain't gentrifying Italian neighborhoods. You ain't even gentrifying the Arab neighborhoods. But you move into every black neighborhood and you take it over. You change the laws. You change the boundaries. You steal all the real estate. You run up charges. What about Ferguson, Missouri? Remember Ferguson, Missouri, where everybody said, why are black people going crazy over Michael Brown's death? Then the FBI went in and did a study. And what did they find out? The FBI found out that in Ferguson, Missouri, they were running the municipality like a plantation. They were pulling black people over all the time, writing them up with charges. Then when the black people go home after 7 days, they put extra fines on them. 3 months later, poor black people who couldn't pay the fines, they came and locked them up in jail. Then they got federal funds to keep those people in jail. Kamala Harris, Democrat, Vice President of the United States, kept black people in jail in California so as to keep the economy of California going, man. See, I need to talk to this man. You don't have a sense of justice. See, some white man, this white man here, he's a straight up dude.
I'm not trying to.
This Irishman here, it's all right, you good. This Irishman here, he's a straight up dude. He doesn't necessarily agree with me, but he agrees with right and wrong. And you gotta have, he all right. This still his kingdom, y'all. You gotta let that white man go where he wanna go. This still his. Let me explain something to you. You gotta have a sense of justice. First of all, why would any white man argue with me when you had us in slavery for 400 years? Like, what is the argument? The argument is you don't want God's judgment. You understand? But you benefited from that.
In 1900.
You benefited from the murderers who have taken over this land. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question? See, you're not listening. If you dig up these if you dig up these stones right here, what would we find underneath here?
I would imagine.
Tell me.
I would imagine the most likely thing that we would find. If we were to dig up stones. In any place in America. It's the dead body of Native Americans.
Now you being straight up. Now you being straight up. So here's my question.
I tried to tell you.
Simple question.
I agreed with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Not that I needed it, but it's good that you agree. Because listen, white America should be preparing themselves for God's judgment. You should be acknowledging what you've done for 400 years and what the punishment for it is. I'm about to read it for you now. So you cannot be in the dark when places like Florida are hit with hurricanes. So you can be not in the dark when the Lord spreads terrorism across this country. So that you are not in the dark when America is fighting wars in China and in Russia and all the othermost parts of the world. You will not be asleep. Why? Because I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you the truth. You've been a monster on the earth, white people.
That's right.
You have been the monster. Like, you know what? I don't like horror movies. You know why? There's a reason I don't like horror movies. Because when I turn on Dracula, and when I turn on The Mummy, or when I turn on one of them horror movies, I find that they are not as scary as you are. Like, I can't enjoy a horror movie because they ain't scary enough. When I study white people, that's a horror movie.
That's right. That's right.
This a scary dude right here. This a any man that would give people blankets with smallpox and poison their babies, that's worse than Freddy Krueger. That's way worse than Freddy Freddy Krueger.
When did I say
Any
that
man,
was right?
any man that pours lead into the water of people all across this country is far more scarier than Frankenstein.
That's right.
You understand? Any man that does experiments on black prisoners and tortures them and gives them chemical warfare, that man is far more scarier than Count Dracula.
That's right.
So I can't get down with a horror movie because I'm living a horror movie in this country, man. My people are living a horror movie in this country, man. That's what I'm dealing with. Come on, tell them where, keep going where you at.
Even thou was as one of them.
Right, even though you was as one of them. Go ahead.
But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah.
You hear what the Lord said? You should not have rejoiced over our slavery. You shouldn't have been so arrogant when you had us in slavery. Now listen, you had us in slavery. We should have been working for you at that time because we had broke God's law. But you couldn't be satisfied with that. God never said it was all right to rape our daughters at 12 years old. But that's what you white people did. God didn't say it was all right to put us to fight against animals for us to survive. But you did it. You understand? Oh, you look refined now. Oh, white people are the spitting image of intelligence and respect and dignity. Oh, you look great walking out here in the street today. I'm going, no. Their time is short.
That's right.
They about to get clipped. I know you think it's crazy. You've been winning wars, conquering land, coming up with new technology, eating good food and good liquor, and having a time and all the women, but it's coming to an end.
That's right.
The party's over.
That's right. That's right.
What is that song Prince had? That old faggot? What he used to say? Party like it's 1999. Even he knew it was over soon. You better get ready because this time God is not playing with you. Come on with it. This time your arrogance and your bravado and your technology will not save you. Just like it didn't save the Egyptians. You know, the Egyptians were stupid like America. The Egyptians enslaved God's chosen people for 430 years. And they believed, please, God will never free them. They laughed in Moses' face. You know when they stopped laughing? When them frogs came. When them locusts came. When the botulism came. When them hurricanes came. When fire came out of heaven. And you know when they really got the message? When every firstborn son of every Egyptian died. Then they understood how wicked and evil a people that they were.
That's right.
White people, get ready. Because you're going to get some plagues too. And you deserve them plagues. And he going to do you dirty. Because you did the world dirty. You stole and robbed and pillaged. Had a good time. Took what you wanted. Killed who you wanted. Wiped out who you wanted. Did what you wanted. And now you got to pay the piper. You go to a restaurant and eat a good meal. You can't get up out the restaurant and just go home. The waiter going to bring you the bill. And you can't just say to him, man, boy, that meal was good, but I'm heading home. He gonna be like, hold up, sir, can I have your credit card, please?
Right.
You can't tell him, well, I don't think I want to pay the bill. He gonna be like, hold up now. I'm gonna call the police if you don't pay this bill. Well, guess what? That's how God works.
Right.
He's sitting on the judgment seat. He waiting for you to try to not pay the bill. And when he come, it's gonna be bad. Come on, let me read it for you. Let me read you your future. Read.
Isaiah 14:21. Prepare slaughter.
Prepare slaughter. Slaughter is when you kill an animal. But God said that for you to prepare slaughter, meaning God gonna kill you like you kill an animal.
Right.
He ain't gonna just kill you regular. He gonna slaughter you like you slaughter an animal for the things that have been done in this country. Read. And you shouldn't be mad about that. You did all the evil. Listen, I thought Tennessee believed in law and order. I thought white people believed in law and order. So if you break the law, should you go to jail? You know what was funny to me? Let me sidebar for a minute. You know what had me cracking up? I'm sitting in my living room, right? And I'm watching TV. I turn on CNN. And all of a sudden, they on the news saying that Donald Trump is mad that they raided Mar-a-Lago. And he's saying the FBI is corrupt, the Justice Department is corrupt. And I said to myself, wait a minute, Maya. I thought Donald Trump was the president of law and order. I thought he believed in the rule of law. I thought he believed that if you committed a crime, you should do the time. But when they caught him on a crime, now he mad. Now he want to say injustice. For a minute, Donald Trump was sounding like a nigga in the ghetto saying, man, I ain't do it. I ain't do it, man. I'm innocent. He was sounding just like that. I was cracking up. For once in your lives, white people felt how black people feel.
Right.
When they get dragged out their car.
Right.
When they get thrown up on the hood. When some white man, because he's having a bad day with his wife, punches his damn jaw in and breaks half his teeth out. Now you know how we felt.
That's right.
Now you know what it feels like to drive down the street, see a patrol car in your rearview mirror, and your chest get a little bit tighter. Even though you never committed a crime in your life. You know what it feels like now. And you need to feel more of that.
That's right.
You understand? You need better behavioral teaching and training, white people. You need to learn more about the greater world that you live in. Mostly about the people you shit on every day. Like, that's who you need to learn about. And thank God that day is coming. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Down in Florida, them bastards understand God now, don't they? Them yachts is upside down. They show one picture, somebody had a yacht in their living room.
Let me ask you.
It looked at about $300,000. I'm coming to you right now. It was about $300,000. It was sitting in his living room. They said, Mr. Klewinsky, what happened? I don't know. It just came flying through the living room window. It killed my wife and the dog. Why is God doing this to us? And I laughed. I ain't gonna lie. I shouldn't have laughed. But I laughed my ass off. You know why? Because I know what it's like. I know what it's like when I was living in the projects in the Bronx.
Right.
And Eleanor Bumpers was my neighbor, a poor black woman living on Social Security. And I knew what it was like when the police came and kicked in her door, misidentifying her apartment with somebody else. And the white officer lifted up a 12-gauge shotgun on a 62-year-old black woman, poor and in her apartment. And when he pulled that trigger, Eleanor Bumpers blew right across the room. And that was the end of her life. And I saw that. And I said, you know what? White people should get the same.
That's right.
And God is giving you the same. Come on, what's your question? What's your question? Are you white?
Yeah.
Do you live in America?
If I live in Hound and Hog, I'll walk everywhere I go. I don't drive.
I'm just asking a question.
I'm tired of being blamed because I'm black.
I know.
But I tell you what,
I'm tired of being blamed because I'm black.
Right.
I know.
Right.
Listen, we on the same page. I come outside every day. It's always a white man blaming me for something, and I'm just a black man.
That's right.
I walk in the store. I get followed behind. I get in my car. I get pulled over. I know what you're feeling. You don't like being blamed being white. It's like, and listen, I get it. It's like a whole thing. It's like this whole Me Too awake movement. It's like a white man can't get a break. Y'all can't get no woman in the club. You can't get a hot date no more because it's like you the damn evil man of the world.
That's right.
You know what? Imagine doing that for 400 years.
Right. Right.
yes, that's slavery. Not just white, just black. I'm tired of being blamed for everything I'm doing. I'm white. If you want to be pissed off at your chief for selling y'all out in the first place. And the sad thing is, why is it when I'm watching young black people killing young black people because they want to be a thuggish badass, it stops. All life matters, not just black. All lives matter.
See,
Quit blaming me because I'm white.
see, you taught those young men to kill each other.
That's right.
Not you specific, but your
No,
people.
you put it all on
See,
white.
this is what you are not understanding. For 400 years, you lumped us together. Now we lumping you together. So don't be mad. Take the responsibility for the rest of white men.
That's right.
Don't be upset.
What do I owe
Listen,
you?
let me tell you something.
What do
I
I
still
owe
get
you?
pains in my back from when I was 17 years old in the Bronx and the white cops dragged me out of my car, my own car, fully registered, insured, everything, and threw me up against the car and punched me continually in my lower back. And I said, man, why you doing? I ain't do this. You know what he told me? He said, you're a nigger. That's why I'm doing it. And I do it to all niggers. So he was being being universal about what he was doing. I couldn't be mad at him. He just believed that all niggas was the same. So guess what? He taught me something very valuable. All of you white devils are the same. There's no difference between any of you. Am I really? You kidding me?
Because you're blaming
Wait a
white for
minute.
everything.
I'm a bigot? Wait a minute. I ain't heard that in a minute. I gotta re-examine myself. Hold on. You know, the scripture said, know thyself. You gotta know if you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Let me explain something to you, man. This is what white people don't understand. Black people should be bigoted against you until you stop being bigoted against us. You understand? For 400 years, we've been trying to love you, join you, get you to forgive and forget, get you to understand that you shouldn't treat us this way. And guess what? Nobody on the planet. George Floyd got killed before the world. Protests were going on in goddamn Australia. 2 weeks later, white men still was putting their knees on black men's necks. Still killing them the same way.
You don't think I get fucked with the way I look?
I'm sure you do. But you know what else? But you know what? Just the way you look, you could walk into the Waldorf Astoria. What's your name? I understand. I'm going to say Tom for now, just for hypothetical reasons, Tom. Don't worry, we ain't criminals here. We ain't going to steal your identity. You all right. Tom, you could walk into Waldorf's Astoria and say, I am Mick Jagger's brother. And they ain't going to mess with you until they verify who the hell you are. You know why? You know why I know this? You know why I know this? Because when I walk into Waldorf Astoria with a three-piece suit on, they want to know why the hell I'm there. You understand? I'm sure you catch a little bit. Come on with it. Now this is the man to listen to right here. Hey, this is not a pity party. This is a warning from God. A warning about the punishment you are about to receive. God told us to warn you. God told us to prophesy against you. God told us to tell you these things. So when it happens, you won't wonder why. That's all. This ain't a pity party. Listen, we don't need your pity. We ain't asking for your pity. We ain't asking for your favor. I'm not trying to get you to like black people. I'm not trying to get you to work with black people. I could give a damn what you do with your life. I'm here to do what God told me to do, which is to tell you that you are the devil the Bible speaks of. You are about to be punished for what you've done. Okay? Did I get across clearly enough? Thank you very much. I've done my job. Anything else?
You little bigoted ass.
Y'all let this white man enjoy his day. There you go. I'm gonna get to it. Listen, this is your kingdom. I don't know why you would be mad at me for that. Yeah, you had us in slavery. It shows you the arrogance of white people. Like you've had us in slavery 400 years. Why would you be mad that one black man don't want to agree with you? Like one black man don't like white people. You got one Negro that just say I hate all white people. Why would you be mad at him?
You do.
You rule the whole damn earth. Why would you even be angry at him, man? You should embrace that black man. Listen, we embraced your white racist people. We embraced them. Yes, we did. I'm not saying you are, but I'm saying we have shown nothing but love to you white racists. Show us some love while we hate you.
I want you to stay strong in the spirit of the Lord. Hey, listen, if you like this tape, hit the like button and share it, man. Hit the share button. Everybody share it to their own personal Facebook accounts. Share this video, man, to wake up brothers and sisters all over this earth. Hit the like button. Check me out Monday night. I'm live every Monday night. I bring the heavy hitters in. We do it up live right on this same channel.